Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another broadcast of Project 365, where we are aiming to bring hope, encouragement, and inspiration to the entire world, 365 days of this year. I am going to be your co-host today, Tigana Duncan. We have a guest host today, and he is our phenomenal guest from yesterday, Mr. Tigana Duncan, also known as Coach Duncan to many. If you missed yesterday's broadcast, you need to go back and watch it. He said some phenomenal things about investing into our youth, and it'll be good just for you to go back and see why and how he's so passionate about investing into our young men today, which is so necessary. So before I go, I just want to remind all of you to check into our YouTube page, like, share, subscribe. That is how we share hope, encouragement, inspiration to the entire world. And Coach Duncan, are you ready?
I am. Tigana, how you doing today?
I'm good. You have the floor.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Good morning. Good afternoon. It is now 1 o'clock. Welcome, everybody. And I'm grateful for this opportunity to have some tremendous young men on here with me. One is my son, Daryl. If you just wave. All right. Then we have Micaiah Wheeler. Also a young man that I've had the opportunity to mentor for many years. And then there is Lane Dickinson, also another young man that I've had the opportunity to mentor that I call my nephew. So all three of these young men has had the opportunity to be mentored by me through our 501c3 program, Stand Mentorship, which is an acronym for Stepping Towards a New Destiny. Before we get started, I just want to take an opportunity to have all three of these amazing young men just say a little about themselves, what it is that they're doing, even though I know a lot about them and I can talk about them all day long and say some phenomenal things. We just want to take an opportunity to hear from them. So first, we're going to start with Daryl Jeffries.
Good afternoon, everybody. Like my father said, my name is Daryl Jeffries, and right now I am a student at Frostburg University. I'm 21 years old. I'm studying to be a teacher. I'm following in the footsteps of the family business. Trying to educate and reach out to people and help them out. I do some mentoring with my father, like he said, and then I do some mentoring also in Howard County with another mentorship program. And I also run track for my high school. So it's just a lot of things that I try to do to keep myself busy and help the community out.
So what are you currently studying in school at the moment?
Right now I'm studying secondary education.
Secondary education. Awesome. Then we have Micaiah Wheeler. If you can unmute yourself, Micaiah Wheeler, and just share a little about yourself.
Hi, my name is Micaiah Wheeler. I've been mentored by Tigana since I was about 12 years old. I'm 26 now, so it's been quite some time being able to be around Tigana and learning from him. I graduated from St. Mary's College of Maryland 2 years ago. I have a bachelor's degree in biology. I currently work in the private sector in public health, doing research around COVID and how COVID affects pregnant women. I also do a whole bunch of other host of public health related tasks for my at my position. So that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. And we have Lane Dickinson. If you can unmute yourself and just share some things about yourself as well that the audience may not know.
Hello. I am Lane Dickinson. I've been mentored by Coach Duncan for my whole life. I recently, about 6 months ago, graduated from Lincoln Tech in the electrical field, but during COVID, it was kind of hard to grab a job. So right now I'm just doing deliveries and staying focused, trying to find what I want to do next.
Awesome. And I appreciate each one of you all being on here. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have each one of you guys have come through STAD mentorship and just see that you guys are doing some great things. So from your perspective, you guys have been mentored, you guys have gone into schools, you guys have taught. Since you guys were in middle schools, you guys have gone into different schools around the state and taught to kids. Let me ask you guys this, and we're going to start with Micaiah, who recently graduated college. How important do you think mentoring is for this generation that is upcoming?
Oh man. Well, we don't even have to go into the statistics of how many fathers we have in home these days, especially in our communities. So many young men grow up, and the first form of correction they get is from police. And the idea of having mentorship, especially for this generation, it's incredibly important because we want young men to say, hey, this is right. We want people to be able to tell young men and young women, hey, this is right, or hey, this is wrong, and not have, law enforcement be the first person to have to tell them that, or, someone that doesn't care for them be the first person to tell them right from wrong. And I think especially in our generation where social media is so, is so everywhere, it's important to learn from someone that cares from you and not someone on a screen that is doing it for the wrong reasons.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. One of the statistics that Micaiah talked about was that absent father in a home. I'm going to come to you, Daryl. You have had the opportunity to be raised in a home with mom and dad. Let me ask you this question. How important do you believe it is for parents to develop a listening ear for their children? Because one of the things is, and I just know from conversations with you, sometimes there are things that you may go through, whether it be at a younger age, whether it be at the age that you are now. How important do you think it is for a parent to develop a listening ear for someone not just 21 like yourself, but even at a younger age?
Well, I feel like it's very important because, a lot of people feel like that communication and good communication is just, two people talking back and forth. But in reality, communication is like mostly listening. Listening is part of the communication process. So it's like if you're not listening, if you're not understanding, your child, or if you're not understanding, your parent, is like you're not really communicating. Really, you're not communicating in a healthy way. So I feel like being able to listen and understand your child, and be able to see the signs when something is wrong, and pick up on the little things that might be off with them, that might help them, might help save a life, or just help them in general.
So you have parents that are watching right now. What are some of those signs that a parent can look for? Because again, we may miss it, and we may not always correctly identify some of those signs. What are some of the signs that we can look for to say, hey, something is wrong with my child? I need to ask a deeper question, because if I come to my child and I say, hey, how you doing today? You say, good. Is everything all right? I may ask you around your day, and that child may say, everything is great. What should a parent look for to know that there are things that are wrong, that, we need to look a little deeper?
I say body language and tone, and like how they talk. Like if they say say if usually you and your parent have good conversations on a daily, or talk, more than a minute or 30 seconds, then you know what I'm saying, that's a sign. Like especially if you're getting out of school and he just say, oh, my day was good. And you know what I'm saying, you're gonna look in your rearview mirror like, man, your day probably wasn't really good. So you gotta talk to him, you gotta hear him out, you gotta, understand him. That's why I feel like that's big in communication on my part.
Well, Lane, let me ask you this. How can a parent, because again, there are a lot that teenagers deal with, there's a lot of things that they do. How can a parent be receptive to the point, or how can you help us to be more receptive to, or open to hearing just what you're dealing with? What is the response that you would want after you have bought something that you're dealing with? Because you got to remember this. You guys are facing so much peer pressure now, right? There's a lot of peer pressure with this generation to keep up with social media, with the things that they see. You may bring something to my attention as a child, and I'm your parent. I may not like what you're bringing to my attention, and I may want it corrected, changed right away. What is the response that you may want from a parent? And any one of you can answer this, but I'm gonna start with you, Lane, that you would want from a parent to show that I guess that we are at least listening,
and seeing what we
caring.
see. I feel like it's really just you gotta catch it, because it's a kid isn't going to just, you know what I'm saying, they're not going to want to put it out there. Like if I'm going through something, I'm a man. We're all men. We're not going to talk too much. We might just keep it under our chin and just keep it moving. But as a parent, I feel like you should kind of be able to know the little things about your kids, about the little sudden movements they're making, or the body language, stuff like that. I feel like if you can pick that up and just talk it out with them a little bit and tell them that you're like, if you tell them like be comfortable with each other, like, you know what I'm saying? You're a parent, I'm your son. It's like, you got to be genuine. You got to just talk it out. Because I ain't gonna lie, me myself, like, if I'm having problems and my mom and dad don't see it the first couple times, I try to talk it out with them, try to talk it out with one of my friends. But as far as like the parent having to see it, a kid isn't going to make it noticeable unless they want it to be noticeable. So I feel like if you can just sit down with them, talk with them, or just be upfront, come out yourself. Like if you notice something, don't wait for the kid to also try to say something. I feel like you should just be there for him. You know what I'm saying? Just talk to him, ask him what's going on. Is everything okay? But don't you can't just be like subtle. You have to actually ask them what you feel or what you think is going on. Because if you just ask them genuine questions, it's not gonna get nothing done.
Got you. What about you, Micaiah?
I think
Thank you, Lane.
what I would say to any parent in a situation like this is, the first is to don't make it personal. If you don't like what they're saying or what they're talking about, or you learn that they're doing something that you had no idea about, don't make it personal. Avoid putting down that person's beliefs or ideas. Like, you don't want to be condescending in a moment where they're being vulnerable with you. One thing I learned from from being a resident assistant in college is to use I statements. Say, I feel, say how you feel, don't make blanket statements about what something is. Say, I feel this way about the specific thing. Try your best to listen to the other person's point of view, to your child's point of view, and to stay calm. It can be so easy to get caught up in the emotion of it all, but I think staying calm and showing that, I think a huge part of mentorship is active listening. And you are mentoring your child, so you have to be able to actively listen and, have a conversation, which can be difficult sometimes.
Okay. Now, would you like to add to that question, Daryl?
Yeah, definitely. To go off of what Lane and Micaiah said, like, first, I just feel like making sure that you're available. You want to make sure that you make yourself available to your child, because if you're not there, then it's like you're not going to come to you. You got to make sure that you're always available emotionally and, like, physically, like you're there. And then also, like Micaiah was saying, don't take it personal. Don't try to push your opinion on them and how you feel on them. Just, be a guide to them. Don't try to, jump in and say, well, I think you should do this. And, don't try to put your opinion all in there. Really let them, come to you and just hear them out. Be the guide to lead them. Don't try to put them in places and, tell them what to do. Because at the end of the day, nobody likes being told what to do. You are a parent, but it's like they need a guide at the moment, not a authoritarian telling them, what to do.
And I like what you guys are saying, but this is a conversation that I think that we can always continue and get other parents on here as well. Because I look at you at 21, I look at your brother at 11. At your age, you are in a better position to make decisions. But at 11-year-old, I don't want my 11-year-old telling me, don't tell him what to do. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I guess I guess at 21 years old, where they're older, and I think, one of the things that you said to your mom recently was, and I loved it, you said, I want to hear from God for myself. I think we tell our kids what God is saying, but sometimes we have to teach them to hear from God for themselves so that they can have that relationship as well. There's the scripture that says, train up a child in the way that they should go, that when they're old, they should not depart from it. I do think that there is a lot of training that we are doing as well, that a lot of times there's a gap, there is a bridge, a big gap that needs to be bridged, where a lot of times as a child, and it doesn't mean a juvenile, but as someone's child, the parenting never stops. The parenting never stops. Micaiah's what now, 27? There's still a lot of parenting happening. Daryl, Lane, there's still a lot of parenting happening. So I think that we get it. We do hear you all. I have to say that I do hear you all, that there are some times where the college decisions you guys want to make for yourself, the job decisions you guys want to make for yourself. But parents also go into that protective mode of protecting, no matter how old you get, that we believe that we see what is best for you. And we always want what is best for you. So that what you guys are saying, I believe is very, very important. Good job. Anyone of you guys want to add to what has been said? Well, let me ask you guys this next question then. Well, let me make it, I know they said not to make it a personal, but I want to make it a little personal and go to Daryl. What do you believe, and it's okay, I'm learning. I'm learning. What do you believe that there were opportunities that could have been done differently, missed opportunities to help? Because again, there are other parents that are watching, as well. I'm your father. I believe that I've been available physically and emotionally. What were some of the opportunities that you believe that were missed that could have been supported a little bit more? That somebody else is watching, like, let me see if I can be some more supportive in that area for my child.
Like, what do you like? You saying like what did you like miss?
Yeah, what could have been done differently? Look in retrospect, what do you think could have been done differently, if there's anything that could have been done differently? Because again, I don't think that I always listen. I think as a parent, I think my viewpoint in my household is what matters the most. But just as a parent, what do you think could have been done differently, if anything?
That's a good question. I feel like, it's a lot of things, I feel like nothing like specific comes to mind because
Got
like,
you.
you did it was like we had a good relationship, you did a good job or whatever. But uh I would
So
say
there's nothing good. Next question.
it's probably something that's just not coming to my head
That
right
is
now.
probably something.
Yeah.
Okay, Micaiah, in a few years, you're married now, been married for 1 year. In a few years, you're going to have children. What are some of the things that you feel like, with a paradigm shift, you're going to do differently with your kids that was done with you?
Okay. I think a lot of parents in our communities, 2 or 3 generations ago, come from a lot of scarcity. And I believe that fear of scarcity has scarred our communities in so many ways. Parents think, oh, well, they're fed, they have a roof over their head, they have shoes on their feet, they should know that I love them. And I don't believe that's always the case. And so many people in our communities put their jobs so high up on the list and say, okay, well, if I'm a provider, I'm good. And then children don't have a relationship with their parents because their parents are always working. And they may say, oh, my kid can see that I love them because of these 2 and 3 jobs and I'm working hard and I'm never home. But they might feel the opposite. And me trying to break that generational curse of, being a provider is all that I need to be a good parent. Like, breaking that mold for me in the next generation is important to me, and spending more time with my children is important as well. So that's one thing I will definitely hope to do different.
Got you. So what you're saying is that the presence, PRESENCE, is more important than the presence, the PRESENT.
I agree.
Absence. So you go back to, I think, what Daryl said about the physical being there. Got you. So Lane, I want to touch something. And again, I'm trying to deal with questions where we are bridging the gap. I think there is a major disconnect sometimes with the way that my generation was raised. And it doesn't mean that we do everything right. It doesn't mean that we have totally failed as parents either. What do you think could be done, Lane, to help mentor some of the young men that are growing up in, or read some of the young men, some of your friends that are growing up in single parent homes. Like I know you grew up in a 2-family household, but there are a lot of men that have came through stand mentorship that have not had that opportunity. What do you think are some of the things that through conversations that you hear hanging out with these young men, what are some of the things that you think, some of the things that are needed in their lives that can be provided?
Okay, well, of course you have to have the strong mother or the strong one, you know what I'm saying, one parent, but it's really honestly the support group around you. I promise you. Stand mentorship helped me get through a lot of things. My friends helped me get through a lot of things. It's the people that you have around you. If you're going through something, like when you go through tough times, of course you're going to be able to get through it by yourself, but when you're with your family and when you're with your friends, it speeds up, it feels better. The grieving is nowhere near as bad. I'm telling you, like, and support and family disconnect through. I feel like everything in life, like whatever you do, you're gonna need somebody there with you. Like it raises a village. I mean, yeah, it's a village to raise a child. Like, it's a real thing, and you can't just be like, yes, a single parent can be strong, but that grandmother's gonna help. That aunt's gonna help. That sister's gonna help. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's more than just one story. Like, everyone has a role in each other's life. Like, for me personally and my friends, I know that if I'm down, I have 6 people that I can call right now that's gonna answer the phone and talk to me about whatever. And I promise you that I love that about my life. And it's crazy because when I lost my grandmother, then I just lost my grandmother a couple months ago. I really felt like my life was just in shambles. But I was talking to my friends every day, nonstop, and I'm fine. And I just thank God for everything that I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like life is already tough as it is. You know what I'm saying? So being in the now that I think about even being in a single family home, to even push through that battle alone, I feel like that's just a whole different lifestyle than, like you're saying, my life is way different from one of my friends. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, I had 2 parents, they had one. But like I said, but when you have that support, it balances out a lot. Like, yes, it might not be having a 2-family home, but having one parent and then having a solid group with you that supports you through no matter what you're going through, it will cost you, like, it will bring you so long ways. Promise you.
Awesome. Awesome. You said something that I caught that a lot of times we believe that no longer exists. I think it was so important to hear it from you when you said that it still takes the village. I think that a lot of times we say that the village is no longer present, but I like the idea that you do still believe that it takes the village. Daryl, what are some of your support systems that have helped you through some of the tough times? And before you answer that question, I want to add this to the conversation. I want you all to know that you are being heard, that people are paying attention, because I went through some tough times and it was individuals that I didn't think that even understood or saw it, that was able to help me through some of those situations as well. So I do want you guys to know that your generation are being heard. It may not seem like it, but people are listening. What are some of your support systems, Daryl, through some of your toughest times?
So just going off of what Lane said, it's really my friends and my family. Like, those are the 2 people that I depend on the most. I feel like whenever I'm going through something, I can always reach out to my friends. I can always talk to them. And then, like I said, my family, like you and mom, y'all always, y'all there, y'all always want to talk. And it's never uncomfortable. It's never like, awkward, because it's like we got that type of communication and that relationship where I can come to y'all and, not, be nervous about, which I might say, because it's a open communication. It's listening. It's a good, it's a healthy communication. So it's like, it's not like, I'm never nervous, or I never feel bad about what I got to say. I just know that y'all gonna listen to me and hear me out and help me out. And it's the same with my friends. They always lift me up. And then it's the same with a couple of teachers that I've, met over the years. I can always reach back out to some teachers that I had, because I had a really good relationship with them. So it's like, I have a big support group that always help me out.
Awesome. Micaiah, you have gone from being mentored to being married. What are some of the tools that you have taken into your marriage that you have learned over the years?
Oh my goodness. I'd say the biggest one is understanding the importance of availability. Sometimes it's not about what your ability, but your availability. I know there's a coach thing to say, like, I need you out there. I need you, in the pocket. I need you on the court. It doesn't matter what you can do if you're not available to do it. I've definitely seen people make themselves available, and I've taken it into my marriage. And then active listening. Oh my goodness. I don't think I'd be where I am today if I didn't learn how to actively listen to people, what people have to say. So yeah, those are the big two things for me.
Okay. I'm going to pose this question for each one of you. There's an audience that's out here that's listening. And what would you like the audience to take away from having a positive mentor-mentee relationship? One of the things that I've had the opportunity as well is to be mentored, even at an older age, but also to still mentor others. What are some of the things that you think that they can take away? Because some people may believe that they don't need a mentor. They don't need someone that they can learn from. What are some of the things that you think that they can take away from a positive mentor-mentee relationship?
I
We
honestly
can
think,
start with you, Lane.
I was gonna say remember that last part you just said, like, they people think of it as like as a mentor, but don't even think of it as a mentor. Think of it as another person, as a brother, father, uncle, whatever you have to do, because it's not one person over another. It's not that. It's two people who here want to talk about whatever they want to better their life. So why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not talk to that person? Why not get involved? Why not have these conversations, talk about whatever it's going to do to break through that pushing point that you're going through? You know what I'm saying? Like, a mentor is not a coach, it's not an officer, it's none of that. It's literally someone who wants to see you win in life. So yes, take that mentor and run with it. Don't ever think of it as a bad thing, ever.
You know, one thing, Lane, I'm gonna just add. I remember taking many trips to Virginia, Kings Dominion, Ocean City, and I would be in the car, Makai, with these 10 to 15, 16-year-olds. And I would endure very uncomfortable conversations because I wanted to help them, and I think that's what the relationship is still now. Because again, I was sitting there with my son, sitting there with nephews, with kids that I saw as nephews, So like, I agree with what Lane is saying. That individual that's there, whether it's the father, the uncle, the brother, individuals that want to see you win, run with them, and being open with them enough. What about you, Daryl? What are some of the takeaways that you think someone can take away from having a mentor-mentee relationship?
Well, yeah, going off of what Lane said, it's definitely it's just a support system. Having somebody that's on that same level with you, that want to see you win. That wants to see you grow as a person, and they're helping you grow. They're giving you the things that you need to help you get to that next step. And it's not like they're not forcing you. They're not rushing you. They're with you, like, step by step, helping you through the process. Guiding you along. So it's like, it's not like they're telling you what to do, and they're not. A mentor isn't made to be a father or be like somebody to tell you what to do, but they're that figure. They give you the things that father figure can give you. They give you that guidance, so that those words of wisdom, or that ear to to listen to. So that's what.
Awesome. There's an example. Awesome. And Micaiah.
Like Daryl said, you want someone to give you those words of wisdom. You want someone that has walked ahead of you, someone that can use their years of wisdom to help guide you and further your steps. Proverbs 12:15 says, the ways of an arrogant man are wise in his own eyes, but oh my goodness, but a wise person listens to counsel. So
Good
I'm gonna
counsel.
look at
Right.
something and say, oh, this makes sense. This looks fine, but it's all about accountability, having someone that can hold you accountable, someone that can look at your life in third person and see a wider range of what's around you and say, hey, have you considered this? Because life is too short to be making all the mistakes. If you can talk to someone and
Right.
get better input and make better decisions, life is too short. Use those opportunities to make those decisions.
Do you believe that the mentor should hold the mentee accountable?
Yes, which means pride has to be, you have to keep your pride low or keep your pride in check, because accountability is a large part of mentorship.
Awesome. I love what we have done today. We have definitely began a great dialogue that we can definitely continue with parents. We can continue with mentees and mentors as well. Before we wrap up, I have one last question. You great individuals, Micaiah Wheeler, what is next for you? You've had such great success. You have sat on such great platforms. And you're so, before you answer that, I have to say this about you. I'm tremendously proud of you, and I've had the opportunity to officiate your wedding, but I'm tremendously proud of you because you have had such great success and came in contact with such great individuals. But you do it with such great humility that people look at you, and it sometimes it just really touches my heart to see that you're having such great success. So what's next? What's next for Micaiah Wheeler?
I'm tired. And I hate
You're
to
so
say,
young.
within the last 3 years, graduating college, buying a house, buying a car, getting married, I'm tired. But
He's such an old soul.
I know, but I haven't lost my hunger. I think I intend to apply to, oh my goodness, to University of Maryland School of Public Health for a master's degree. And I think that's my next big move. Probably finding another job within the public health field so I can, move up and just, continuing my education, finishing my education before I'm 30 is the goal, but we'll see what happens. So.
Awesome. Let me know when you're ready to write the book. I know it's coming. All right, Lane, what is next from you? You currently finished Lincoln Tech, and I know there's a lot of things that and I don't look at it as hindrance to our plans. I look at it there major shifting that the pandemic did to our plans. Talk to us about Lane 2030. Let's set this.
Lane in 2030 should have.
Yeah.
Lane in 2030 should have several properties where people are living in apartments, condos, all types of things. Because I really want to step into real estate, and I want to be able to give people what they need. The rent out in like Maryland is a great place. It is not the best place, but it's a great place, economically, resource, schools. You know what I'm saying? So if I personally can build some great apartment homes and condos for Maryland, where people could stay, so they can go and get that education and things that they want. That's what I really plan on doing. I want to build properties in Maryland. I also want to take it to North Carolina, and that's really what the two main places where I want to start. So 2030, Lane should be, you know what I'm saying, up here.
Awesome. And the thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to push you to do that, because when I begin traveling, I just want to reach out to you and say, hey, what property do you have in California that I can stay the weekend? So that's awesome. And guess what else? This is actually being recorded, and it's going to be posted on YouTube as well. And this is going to be saved on the Trophy of Life. So Lane 2030, we're going to look back and say, you spoke this. You prophesied this over your life. You put this out there. So I'm looking forward to doing it. So there are others that are listening as well. If there's a real estate agent or a property owner that is listening, or someone, reach out to these young men. They're goal setters. Please mentor them. I'm so proud of you. And I saved my son for last. He has just finished Howard Community College. He was the student government president. I'm so proud of him. Before he talks about his future plans, one of the things that I wanted to say, we had a conversation, and this goes back to just listening, where 3 years ago, he was a little upset. He had plans to go to Morgan State and go to Virginia to college and do different things. But I said that I believe that it was best just to try community college first. And he has had such great success. He has had the opportunity to sit on Zoom calls with individuals from presidents of colleges across the state of Maryland. Daryl, what is next for Daryl? We're not even going to go 10 years out. Let's go 30 days out. Let's do 30 days. What is next for Daryl? And then you can touch on your long-term plan. But I know that you are making some swift transitions that let's just share a little bit about that.
Wow, 30 days out. All right, so I know So I'll be at Frostburg University. That's where I transfer into from Howard Community College. So I'll be at running track there. I'm gonna take over. That's the plan in the next 30 days. Take over Frostburg as far as on the track. Put my own personal touch on the school. And try to upgrade it as best I can. And then as far as long-term goals, I see myself opening up rec centers across the country. I see myself opening up schools. That's the major plan. Maybe I had some Olympic medals too, posted up in a big house of mine, but I definitely want to. And then maybe I'll be the head of STAN mentorship. I'll be the executive member, with my man Lane at the battle. Yeah, so that's the goal. That's the plan.
Do it. And one of the things that I love as well is that the decision to go to Frostburg was based upon prayer that you prayed, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So you prayed about this. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I definitely. It's crazy because Frostburg was not my first choice at all. Like the type of person I am, I wanted to go to HBCU. I wanted to, go to where it was popular. And Frostburg, it's a PWI. That's not a place I feel like I belong. But it took me a while. I prayed a little bit, and then I feel like God he was talking to me in different ways. Because I feel like God doesn't talk to everybody the same. Some people hear from God personally, and some people might hear from others or like see signs, or he might talk to you in your dreams. And I had a conversation with a neighbor, and it was like God was talking to me like through the neighbor, like telling me to just trust yourself. Don't do what everybody else thinks. Don't be caught up in the hype. Put your mark on. Use the opportunity to put your mark in places that need to be changed and things like that. So I feel like that was a sign for me to step into Frostburg and put my own personal spin on there. Go there and make an impact there. Go somewhere where you're needed. So I feel like Frostburg definitely needs a Daryl Jeffries. So that's where I'm gonna go.
Awesome. Good job. Well, Lane Dickerson, one of the things that I am not a commercial real estate owner, and I don't know anything about commercial real estate, but there is someone that's out there listening that prayerfully that they can be a mentor to you in this area. What is your contact information, whether it be via social media, that someone can reach out to someone that can reach out to someone that can mentor you in that area?
You can email me at Lane Dickerson, DICKERSON 555 @gmail.com. Lane Dickerson 555 @gmail.com.
Awesome. We have Micaiah Wheeler doing some great things in the public health sector. There might be someone else as well that's listening that can say, Micaiah Wheeler, we loved your conversation today, that we would love for you to intern at Johns Hopkins or wherever your heart may desire. What is your contact information that someone that's listening that knows someone can reach out to you?
Let's see, my email address is mlwheeler, WHEELER, @smcm.edu.
Okay, awesome. And Daryl, you're heading off to Frostburg. There's a cost of college and a cost of living. How can people donate or bless what your next steps are?
Yeah, you can always reach out to me at my email, DarrylJeffries29 @gmail.com. That's DarrylJeffries29 @gmail.com. And I always respond. So, yeah.
Awesome. And if anyone that's listening would like to be a blessing to these young men, you could also contact Portia Whitley at Trophy of Life, and she can also get in contact with them. Well, I have to say this, it has been a tremendous time with you all today, and I appreciate it. You guys took time out of your Saturday to be on this live today, just that people can listen. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the opportunity to mentor each one of you, but also watch you guys to become mentors. So I have to just stop for a minute and clap it up for each one of you all. All right. We're grateful for the opportunity for Portia Wheatley and co-host Takira Swan to give us this platform today with Trophy of Life. We look forward to you all joining Trophy of Life tomorrow at 1 p.m. because they have another tremendous individual that is going to come on and talk to you all. Thank you all again. If you would like to get in contact with us, you can find us at standmentorship.org. You can also find us on Facebook at Stand Mentorship and _ Stand Mentorship. That is on IG. Again, my name is Tigana Duncan, known as Coach Duncan. I appreciate each one of you all listening on today. Thank you all again. Thank you, Portia Wheatley and Trophy of Life, for the opportunity. You all have a tremendous day.